and running here for TGB2. We're currently on lap 15 out of 17. Sorry for that, folks, but we are now back in. As we disconnected, Chris Johnson set the fastest lap time on the intermediate tire, so that is showing that there is some pace in those inters, and he's caught right back up to CJ, and Chris Johnson's in the wall. Well,
right, okay, yeah, he's gone off and camps a corner.
I was just about to say, he's 8 tenths behind. He's going to get the move done soon, and he's in the wall, but he's kept it going though. Needs a new front wing.
Well, also the technical difficulties. I don't know if it caught the move on Erland, but Erland stuck it down the inside at turn number 5 on Jacko. They was dicing all the way down towards turn 7. Jacko tried to lick the sand and send it back up the inside of him in turn 7, but just couldn't get it stopped in time. Went into the gravel slightly, and Erland is finally passed it up into P3.
Yeah, it was a fantastic move. I really do hope the stream has caught it. But Luca, though, lap 15 out of 17, has been dominant. Has barely put a foot wrong. Oh, and as I say that, he went a bit sideways. That was almost the definition of commentator's curse. But a solid drive so far.
I would like to call that.
Yeah, a solid drive though so far from the man from the Isle of Man.
The man from the Isle of Man.
Yeah, I heard it as I said it. Need to find a better way to say that. The guys from the Isle of Man. That'll do it. Or IOM.
Yeah.
As they like to
Interesting way
say.
to put it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, sorry, that's just throwing me a bit off. But yeah, Jacko, no one's really close to each other now after Erland getting past Jacko. So,
Mr. John, flying on those inters. 24 down to 16. Don't think there's enough time though left in the race, but the inter is definitely the quicker tyre.
Yeah. Dom Smith
and that's with damage. Sorry.
Yeah, I was about to say Dom Smith still on his recovery drive. Looks like he's going to finish in P7 in this race with a couple of laps to go. Not really close enough to the back of Mr. John on the quicker tyre now, the inter tyre.
Yeah, the track's definitely looking drier now. Not so much standing water. Dom does look like he's struggling. I do think the inters now are the prime tyre to be on. He's just gained 2 seconds on Baza. The yellow flag in sector 2. Oh, we're gonna Michael round.
Yeah, Michael Kelly's gone round. Chris Johnson having to take a volley reaction, and that drops him out of the points. So the only previous winner before this race in TGP2, Michael Kenny round Spain, is not even going to get a point today by the looks of it.
And yet again, like I pointed out in qualifying, he's got front wing damage. So the one thing I always see him with at the moment, and that's a damaged front wing. He's got to sort that.
Yeah, he's got to sort that out. Then again, that was my habit in TGP1 for the first 4 races. Always seemed to be damaging my wing on the first lap and then just making my race go painful from the rest of it.
Still is your habit, Owen. It still is.
Oh, that's a bit rude.
Anyway,
my habit is just I'm slow now. That's the problem.
Well, you'll find the pace from somewhere. But anyway, on to the final lap of this Grand Prix, which is started by Luca, 14.6 ahead of ASCV James in the McLaren. It's been a solid drive so far from Luca. Barely put a foot wrong. Kept it very clean as well.
Yeah, he's a very tidy race. Hasn't really put a foot wrong all race. Had that little coming together with Sean that ended Sean's race, but it was sort of a racing incident. They were both trying to make the track as hard as each other for an overtaking move to get done on each other, and it ended up backfiring for Sean.
Yeah, it didn't look too normal on the spectate cam, but I'm sure on their third Lucas. Oh! He almost put it in the wall. That would have been a disaster.
Dominant performance from him, and he nearly ends his race at Cancer on the final lap.
Almost put that in the wall. But anyway, apart from that mistake, it's been an absolute solid drive from Luca, and I think he's just having a bit of fun now. He's letting the McLaren go, Chris Johnson. I think Luca knows he's got the massive gap to AFCB James in second. The win, though, is going to be coming to Luca yet again. It's a third win of the season for the Cyber driver. He won in China, won in Baku, and has now won in Spain. Luca wins the Spanish Grand Prix and takes 3 wins now in a row. 4 wins for Cyber in the first 5 races. Bit of a wait for James to come around the final corner. He takes second place, 13 seconds behind. And then another bit of a wait for Erlang coming through now the final sector. A solid drive from the Force India driver, pulling off some fantastic moves as he went along. He was very patient, and it's worked. P3 for Erlang. Jacko, though, and the Red Bull will be disappointed. He was holding on to P3 for so long, but he could still be happy with P4. Baza and P5. Mr. John then 6 seconds behind Baza on those intermediate tyres. They were definitely the quicker towards the end of the race. Dom Smith then and his recovery drive will take that Cyber home in 7th. Bearing he doesn't bin it, and he doesn't. P7 then for Dom Smith in the Cyber. I think that's a pretty good recovery drive, don't you think, Owen?
Yeah, decent recovery drive, but it could have been so much more today after that stupid mistake in turn 1, turn 2 even, and it's, cost him a victory. As Petrolhead crosses the line in 8, Joe looks like he's going to come home 9th. Chris Johnson has overtaken CJ and Red Bull Kim in the final lap to get up to P10. CJ looks like he's going to come home 11th as he slides wide, and maybe Red Bull Kim has him before the line, but unlikely.
No, I don't think he will. I think the Reynolds will be extremely disappointed with today. They could have so easily, just like in China, they could have grabbed all the points with 2 big open arms, but instead they're coming home with minimal stuff yet again, and connection issues for the Renault, which won't help that championship or even the Constructors' Championship. But that then was your Spanish Grand Prix, and we will get the rundown for you again shortly. Very good race, Owen.
Yeah, very good race, as we see Chiapelli celebrating another victory for Sauber this season, the dominant team this season so far. And what a performance from this Sauber outfit. They've gone back to their old ways, esque 2012, where they were just doing things, being really competitive, and both drivers getting consistent finishes and consistent wins in this case in TGP2.
Yeah, fantastic. Sauber really are the dominant side so far in TGP2. You wouldn't think it was an equal if Sauber were the quickest team, that was. Anyway, here then is your rundown of the Spanish Grand Prix. Luca takes home first position after starting 7th. AFCB James starting 10th, takes home 2nd. Erlang starting 15th, takes home 3rd. Massive gainers. Jacko started 8th and will take home 4th. Baza 5th. Mr. John 6th on the intermediate compound tyre, which did prove to be quicker at the end of the race. Dom Smith 7th, Petrolhead 8th, Joe 8th. Joe Sayer is 9th, Chris Johnson is 10th, CJ is 11th, Red Bull Kim taking the final point, moves him on to 12 now for the season for the Haas driver. Very good start there for Red Bull Kim. Michael Kenny just missing out in the Haas after starting 4th. It was looking so well for him. Elite Shots disconnected and finishes 14th. Bossman Sean was taken out, controversially, I say taken out, and is 15th place.
Yep. As we head into Monte Carlo, the Principality circuit now. This round 6, it's going to be a 20-lap race, 3.3 kilometres, 19 turns, and the 3 tyres in use: the Hypersofts, Ultrasofts, and Supersofts.
It's going to be a very good race. Sometimes it's best just not to be even quick here. You've just got to keep it out of the wall, and you can take home a very big result.
Yeah. Exactly. Myself, previous winner here in TGP2 a few seasons ago. I remember it being quite a dominant performance where I had qualified on 2nd on the grid. The leader crashed about 3 laps in, and then I had such a lead I just cruised home from there.
Yeah, well, it's definitely a difficult circuit. You need 100% concentration, even on an outlap and an inlap. This circuit is tight, it's narrow, and it will punish you if you make that mistake.
Or hit the wrong pedal.
Or hit the wrong pedal, as someone did yesterday, if you didn't watch TGP1. Which I do recommend you go do. Very good race.
I suggest going to see the TGP1 footage.
Obviously not now, later. Because TGP2's on.
Yes, true.
TGP2's on. Watch TGP2, go watch TGP1.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, don't do what I did yesterday.
Got that cleared out.
Yeah.
Yes, don't push your clutch instead of your brake.
Yeah, no, I hit the brake pedal, but I changed it to the clutch pedal for brake. That's why I.
And why did you do that?
Because I could brake later.
Fair enough.
Pedal. But I forgot I changed it.
So you decided to kill a man in turn 1?
No, it wasn't intentional. Is manslaughter? Is manslaughter the one that's not intentional or what?
I think
can't
so.
remember.
Yes, I believe that is manslaughter.
Yeah. So, quick couple of quality stats while we're waiting for the session to start. No driver on the current grid has taken pole here in the PS4 era, and no driver on the current grid has taken a win. No, actually, that is a lie. Dom Smith took the win in season 19. Chris Johnson took both wins in season 15, and Sean Grant took the win in season 14. So I was wrong about that as we head into the session now.
Well, that's good way to start going into Monaco. But we'll have it all ironed out next time, I hope. We'll blame the press packs from José. Not being clear enough, not being bold.
There's not enough pink on the press pack. That's my excuse.
Yep, there you go then. Coming from a Force India driver. Of course, there's not enough pink. Anyway then, as we get ready for qualifying here at Monaco, it's going to be a tough circuit. As all the drivers now and teams have readied up, and we shall be heading down to the circuit any moment now. And it's a wet qualifying.
Okay.
Well, and if you are now just joining us back from the mishap of the live streams, welcome along to TGP2. This is now race 2 of the night, round 6, Monaco. 20 laps round the Principality of Monaco. There's tight corners, there is some quick corners, there's slow corners, but there is one thing that we do know: there's no runoff and there is walls. There is 19 turns on this circuit, it's 3.3 kilometres a lap, and like Owen said earlier, the tyres are the Hypersofts, the Ultrasofts and the Super Softs. It's a very difficult circuit, and it's very difficult in the rain, as we found out yesterday.
Yeah.
One thing I do hope though for these drivers is they actually get rain, because we didn't get rain yesterday. Well, it was rain, but it didn't rain hard enough, so there wasn't a lot of grip, but the Super Softs weren't quick enough.
Yeah, what it was yesterday in TGP1 qualifying was the fact that the inters weren't because there weren't enough water on the circuit. The inters weren't working well at their optimal, so it meant it was very tricky for every driver to get heat into the tyres and get them working correctly to get a good lap in. I just about managed to do it, but I was still a fair bit off the top two guys of Softy and Bullet in TGP1, but managed to get third on the grid somehow.
Yeah, very difficult yesterday, so hopefully these drivers don't have that issue today, because we can see some very good laps here. Because when you nail Monaco, it's very nice. When you nail it in the wet, you really do feel rewarded. But I do believe Luca was the first driver out on circuit, and coming through the tunnel seemed to have his foot to the floor, so they do seem to have a bit more grip than what we did.
Yeah, I think it might be slightly damper, but because it's slightly damper, it's working better for the intermediate tyres.
You don't want rain at Monaco, but I think more rain than what we had, I think, is a good example of when you want rain, because yesterday was just dire.
Yeah, just not enough really to get any real bite into the tyres, because they were gripping up a bit too much, but they weren't really doing anything on the wet at all.
Yeah,
it was
absolutely.
Just really weird conditions.
Yes, it was messy. Qualifying, a lot of people losing their front wings, but a lot of people hitting the wall. We've got a Force India going slowly. I do believe that was
that was just letting Chiapelli past on his flying lap.
Erlang getting out of the way. I'm not quite sure how he was there though, if he's come out the pit lane, because okay. Anyway though, look at Chiapelli then avoiding the bump on the left hand side. 15 minutes remaining of qualifying, and I'm actually going to hand you over to Owen for 5 minutes because I need a drink. Sorry, Owen.
Okay, yeah. Blatantly just give it over to me without me knowing, but thank you anyway, Aidan, as we followed Chiapelli on a hot lap. So Chiapelli, I'm following now, heading into the tunnel, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th gear. The Sauber driver won the previous race, today clips the wall in the very tricky tunnel section, slamming down the gears to 2nd, through the chicane at the end of the tunnel, up the gears, 3rd, 4th, 5th, very tricky corner in the dry anyway to back. But he flies around there and manages to avoid the wall now through the very quick swimming pool section. Down to the 3rd gear through the first part, and then the second part, a little bit of a slide on the exit, heading towards Las Casas now. Down towards 2nd gear. through Lascas he goes. Just got Anthony Noakes left. Round the little kink. Anthony Noakes. DRS not open because it is into conditions. And what's he going to set as his lap time? It's a 23.6.
Fantastic lap.
Kick us off.
Back.
Oh.
Big stairs. Big stairs at the back of the commentary box. You know, so I'm a bit tired. Whew.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just ran down to McLaren and asked for some refreshments, but it's all good. I'm back now.
Yeah. Oh, you got a very good working relationship with McLaren, I see then.
Yes, possible TGP1 car next year.
Okay. I'm surprised you didn't go to your current team, Sauber. I thought they might be able to offer you some refreshments, maybe a bit of Pinot Grigio.
No, they're not happy at the moment.
They're not happy with some feuding Scotsmen in their team. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I'm just not happy with Dom Smith, so I don't really want to go in there right now.
There's a bit of tension in the air. Okay, right. Okay.
Yeah, they're not happy about Spain, so I'm just going to stay away from there. Don't annoy Vasseur.
Yeah, Vasseur is a very fragrant man, shall we say, when it comes to his temper at times.
Very old though. Break a hip chasing you down the stairs. Anyway though, 5 drivers have set a lap time so far in qualifying, and Dom Smith's actually hit the wall, taking the end plate off, so I don't believe... Oh, he could be actually on a lap, because one thing we do need now... I can't speak. The one thing we do need to remember now at the moment is because it is interconditions, these won't be used in the race, obviously, unless it is wet. But I don't believe it is. I believe it's dry. So drivers might want to do multiple runs. They might want to fuel the car up for about 3, maybe 4 laps at the most, and just go around punching in lap time, because you're going to get quicker the longer you stay out there.
Yeah, that's what I did for the start of TGP1 qualifying yesterday. Just pounded round towards the beginning of the session. Didn't really do a lot competitive sides, but just get a feel for the circuit, see what the grip's like, and then came in with about 5 minutes to go and put on a new set of inters, chucked some of the fuel out, literally disposed of it into the ocean, and seen what happened after that.
Put it into my mechanic's hand and told him to hold it for me.
Meanwhile, I've just got a report from the weather system at Sauber. We've got a very good inside source at Sauber, actually.
It's because I raced there.
His name is... Yes, it's because you raced there as well, and I'm very friendly with the team. You're not so much, apparently, at the moment, as we just learned. But my inside weather source at Sauber, Mr. Jiminy Cricket, has just told me that the weather will be dry for the race.
There you go, then that's even more reasons now to keep punching in those lap times, to keep going. Elite Shot's currently 6th at the moment, just completed his lap time of a 1:25.1. And I tell you what, Owen, this commentary box is roasting.
Oh, it's bloody boiling, is it? It's bloody boiling. As we see Erland holding up CJ on a lap at the moment. Oh, what they got? Oh, CJ will not be happy at that. But the Force India is holding up on a lap.
If the Force India's on a lap, though, he doesn't have to let him through. That's the thing.
Yeah, true.
And he is on a lap. He's 1.8 up, so he wasn't going to move out of the way.
Yeah, it's just annoying for CJ to catch someone who's on a lap when you're on a lap yourself.
He doesn't pit, so again that just backs up the point that he wasn't on a lap. Here comes Erland 9. Then round Anthony Knowles. Where can you put that Force India? Currently P7 on a 1:26 something, and he now does a 1:23.7, a 10th of Luca Chiapelli.
Yeah,
good lap there from the Force India driver. Elite Shots though currently down. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that. The first lap at the start of the session from Chiapelli is the quickest lap of the session still, with 10 minutes odd to go.
Fantastic lap time that is from the Sauber driver, and even just to squeeze a 10th out of the circuit is difficult, because there's nowhere where you can really, run wide and gain that time. Elite Shots does improve it very slightly, but stays 7th, only 11 hundredths. Sorry, 11 hundredths off Chris Johnson, in 6th, and not McLaren.
Yeah. So, is he on a lap at the moment, Chris Johnson? Yeah, he is, coming through the swimming pool section.
He's up as well by half a second.
Binned it in sector 2 somewhere. Can't see where. See if anyone's close for us to give us a little sniff of where he possibly binned it. No. Oh,
Postman Sean, Paul, a 1:23.3.
I just want to alert you to P12, Mr. Jacko, and interesting tyre choice, shall we say?
Well, he's almost spun it. He's going to get in people's way. They're not going to be happy.
Yes.
And it's going to be hard for him to get out of the way because he hasn't got what they like to call grip.
Yeah, I think you need grip at Monaco, especially.
He's got in the way now of Russ.
Just goes down the escape road after going provisional pole.
I think that's probably the best option for him after seeing what was ahead. Don't think I'd like to approach that. Chris Johnson on a lap though behind Russ, who's behind Jacko, so being held up just a tad, Chris Johnson. You can see they're very sceptical now through the tunnel. It's very dry in the tunnel, so these inters are going to be not working. It's not what they're
on the
for.
right tyres for the tunnel, to be fair to him, just not the rest of the circuit. Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to get to warrant a good lap time.
No, I don't think he's going to do that at all. I'm going to follow Mr. John now, and he hits the wall at the back. But it's not an overly great lap from him, to be fair. So far, there's Flag in sector 2, probably Jacko, or everyone. No, it's just everyone backing up actually, as we see Chris Johnson peel into the pit lane by the looks of it. And
so Johnny must be improving then if he's coming through to set this lap. Where can he go? Currently 10th place at the moment on 125.5. Does improve.
Meanwhile,
doesn't
we
go
have
any
Petrolhead on his outlap in the wall at. I'm trying to think the name of the corner, but I can't remember it. It's the one before the hairpin. That's what I know it as.
It's a right-hander. It's where Rosberg cheated.
Well, it's debated.
He cheated.
I don't want to throw. You're throwing accusations out there.
He cheated. Fair play. CJ though on a qualifying lap. No, that's not CJ. That is Baza for me. There we go. There's CJ. CJ now coming up through Cusino now. Down the hill, avoiding the bump on the left-hand side into this tricky right-hander. If you turn in too much, you're hitting the wall, and if you don't turn in, you're doing a Rosberg, who cheated. CJ fourth though, 124.2 round the hairpin there. These two right-handers very difficult to nail, and he's done very well so far. Just running a bit wide, losing the rear now through the tunnel. This is where you're going to have no grip because these inters, they need water, and the tunnel hasn't got any. CJ then, can he improve on fourth? Erlang can only be third or lower. He cannot go any higher unless one of the top two gets disqualified. But CJ then, very, very clean lap at the moment. As I say that, he's hit the wall. A 22.5 in the middle sector then from CJ. Cutting that corner massively, and I think if he improves, there might be a steward's inquiry to that. Round Raskas.
He's doing what I like to call a bulletproof.
Yep. A bulletproof. Round Anthony Knowles, obviously no DRS in these conditions. Losing the rear end. It looks like he's drifting due to his connection. Cross the line goes third, a 123.6. Joe Sayers also out there though, but just down on his lap time.
Yeah, is he on a lap at the moment though? Is he heads round into the tunnel? Yes, he is. Yeah, I can tell by the way he's driving. He looks like he's on a lap.
Running out of VRS as well.
Yeah.
Very naughty. Keep it clean, Joe. Gain a lot of time. Careful what you say. He does race in this league.
Oh, that's
that's not keeping it clean.
Line through the swimming pool there, I will say, from the Renault driver.
I think he wanted to go into it through Raskas now. Where can Josephine put that Renault? He's boxed.
Yeah. Well, I think he wanted to go into it and add a bit more water to the circuit. He didn't feel it was wet enough, so he wanted to park his car into the swimming pool, make a big splash, and make the swimming pool more of a swimming pool.
Mr. John, though, on a lap, is currently running engine mode 4, as he's actually pitted. Interesting. Dom Smith, though, will need to improve. Currently 11th, the 126.7. All drivers look like they're struggling for grip, especially Dom Smith there, wrestling that Renault round the final corner, and stays 11th. We'll follow him on another lap to see if he does go for it, but Dom Smith then definitely struggling with tyres. Tyre grip, sorry. Round Casino, and he's just not got any turning. This is incredible how he's keeping this on the circuit.
Well, he will be keeping it on the circuit anyway, he'd just be in a barrier.
Spice is keeping all car body parts on.
Yes, that's the one. Well, he tried his best to knock his front wing off there going around the hairpin. but didn't quite do it in the end as he heads on towards the tunnel now. Up the
Through the
gears,
tunnel.
4th, 5th, 6th.
Oh!
He's lost a part of his wing now.
There we go. That was the inevitable. That was going to happen, and he's just bailed out of this lap time.
Yeah. Just didn't.
Well, here comes Red Bull Kim. He's half a second up. Red Bull Kim stays 12th.
Yeah. Well, there's a bit of a gap between him and Dom Smith in 11th. There's about a second. So Red Bull Kim proving once again why TGP2 needs him.
Yep, the Danish king. Or is he Norwegian? Can't quite remember.
He's Danish.
Is he Danish?
He is Danish.
He is Danish. Hello to all his Danish viewers.
Yes. Hello, Nicholas Chiesa, I believe, is his idol. So that's who.
Lucas
he
gone
wants
pole.
to...
He was already
Luca
pole. No,
has
he
gone
wasn't
pole.
pole. He's now pole.
Yes.
23
yeah, Boss
2.
was on pole, and now Chiapelli is taking it back. Many ciabattas were used after the last race in Spain. He's having a sail on as a celebration for his victory in the Spanish Grand Prix, and can he double up on his victories tonight in Monaco?
Here comes Elite Shots then in the Ferrari, coming out now to Raskas, where we're seeing a beautiful move by the Marussia on the Caterham in real life in 2014 as he's boxed. Thanks for that, Jack. Red Bull Kim's down on his lap time, unfortunately. Taking it very cautiously though, Red Bull Kim.
Yeah, taking it cautiously. He is he's doing a job.
He's doing it very well. P12, that'll be in the points. He did improve there by half a second.
Yeah. Oh, wow. He did actually, yeah. He's now only 4 tenths behind Dom Smith, who's battling for a championship by the looks of it at the moment.
He's getting closer. Dom Smith is just coming out the pit lane now, really struggling down in 11th place at the moment.
Yeah. I think all the people that are in the pits now are going to struggle to get another lap in, I believe.
Yeah, because you're going to have to back off as well.
Yeah, all the guys in there are going to have a very quick turnaround. As Bossman Sean, okay, had a scary moment come through the tunnel.
Does it look like it's drying up? Doesn't look like it's as wet as it was.
No, I don't think it is. There's still some spray being kicked about. As one of the Red Bulls there is on.
Yeah, I've no longer got spray on the camera, which means it has now stopped raining. This is going to be interesting. He is, yeah. Weather the Delta though, and he has just gone straight on. He's turning the steering wheel and the car's doing nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's still spray.
Yeah, it's still spray. It's not going to work for him.
You could risk it.
Bold. He knew he wasn't going to qualify well, and it just hasn't worked out by the looks of it.
The people though coming out the pit lane on intermediates might. We could see a jumbled up grid here because it's getting drier, so it's going to be getting faster.
Meanwhile, Bossman Sean may have bottled his chance at pole, losing his front wing coming around the casino.
Yeah, he's missing pretty much all of it. He's gone straight on, he's wall riding. That's
DJ doesn't look like a challenge for pole either. Erland's out, so the top guy who could possibly take pole off Chiapelli at the moment is Chris Johnson, currently running 5th. He's about 8 tenths off the pole time, but what can he do as he heads around La Rascasse?
Here comes CJ. I don't think he would have continued this lap if he was slower, especially with a damaged front wing. Yeah. He didn't improve, he missed out by just a tenth.
As Chris Johnson comes across the line, does he improve? No.
Another lap though, he will get another lap.
Yeah, Joe Sayer heading round to back now.
He's up.
What can he do?
Only by a tenth.
Is he up?
Only by a tenth.
Okay. Yeah, but it might put him in front of Chris Johnson.
He's 6 tenths up now. Oh, I love the F1 timing screens. I think the 10th up was from Sector 1, and then now the 6 tenths up from Sector 2.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't realise that thing was there.
Yes. It's a brilliant invention.
I haven't really used the spectator cam. And he's gone...
He got slower. That's gone well. Choose F1. Yeah, I didn't know about all this stuff, and then people at the TGP admin told me all about it.
Yeah.
That is now the end of quali.
Chris Johnson went 3 tenths quicker in Sector 1, so what can he do on this lap? Heading towards to back now. Coming through to back. up the gears. What can he do? He's 3/10 up again. Is that up? I don't know the timing screens certainly well. So is that up on pole or up on his previous lap?
No idea. I'm still trying to figure that out as well.
Right,
I'm
so
assuming it's up on
Anthony,
his.
Yeah, he heads round Anthony Modes now, coming down towards turn 1. What's he do when he cross the line? It's up on his. I found out he's improved by 25 thousandths there.
Improvement is an improvement. Joe Sayer those up, and he's P6. So the time's now starting to tumble, but not as quick as we thought, and that's ruined it now for Joe. He's in the wall.
Yeah, 2/10 down now. I think he's given up. So that will be your grid. So
very interesting qualifying. We started off very wet, and then it got dry. But Luca though, again, just looks in control. I mean, I know he's not ahead, he's not massively ahead of Bossman Sean, but Luca just seems to have that little bit edge over the other drivers at the moment, which will win you a drivers' championship. And there we go, Joe Sayer has called it a day, and we will now get the rundown in just a second. But again, very strange qualifying. So very strange decisions.
yeah, especially from the Red Bull team with Jacko's car.
Yes, they need to keep an eye on the weather forecast.
Yes.
Anyway then, here is your rundown of Monaco qualifying. Luca is on pole 40 hundredths ahead of Bossman Sean in second. CJ, or A4 Cat, is third in the Renault, much better qualifying for him. Erlang is fourth, again a much better qualifying for him as well. Chris Johnson fifth, Joe Sayer sixth, Baz the 7th, Elite Shots 8th, Michael Kenny 9th, Mr. John rounding at the top 10. Dom Smith, a whopping 1.9 off the pace, a 25.2, leaves him in 11th, with Red Bull Kim in 12th. This is going to be an interesting race. There's some drivers out of position, and this is a circuit where you cannot overtake. You've got to keep a cool head, or you're going to damage your car, or even end your race or someone else's race.
Yes, you've got to very much keep a cool head. Try not to have a mental breakdown, and be careful into Sandoval as it's dry. Couple of race stats for you. Chris Johnson has 2 race wins here, both in season 15 when Monaco was the bonus race. And Chris Johnson has the joint most wins here in TGP2 with 2 wins in TGP2 at Monaco. So if he takes a win tonight here, it will be his 3rd victory and take the outright record for Monaco TGP2 victories.
It's incredible, especially to win at a circuit like this. As we wait now for the drivers to place their cars on the grid and the mechanics to take the tyre blankets off, and we'll be underway then for the Monaco Grand Prix. It's a tight and narrow circuit. Track position is key here, as the lights are now coming on then. Luca is on pole, Bossman Sean is second. Can he get the start he needs? 5 red lights, and it's lights out. And away we go. Luca leads into turn 1 from Bossman Sean from CJ. Erlang 4th. Not many movers so far. Keep it clean into turn 1 into Sandoval. Luca leads up the hill into Casino. Bossman Sean pretty much pushing up the hill. Keep it clean, boys. Don't do what you did in Spain. It's a long race, and you will need the points come the end of the season. But Bossman Sean and Luca already pulling away there from CJ. But fantastic start. She's locked up now. All over the back of Luca. Will he go for it in the hairpin? Luca covers him off. Very nice there from Luca. But Bossman Sean still pushing that Cyber out of the way. There's a traffic jam at the hairpin in the background there. I believe Dom has lost some damage, but we'll get back to that in just a second. Bossman Sean still over the back of Luca Chiapelli. That Cyber under pressure from Toro Rosso from the get-go. Slowly dropping back though through the tunnel into this bumpy downhill braking zone. So easy to lock up and go straight on. But so far, Bossman Sean and Luca keeping it very clean, getting very close though between the two. And Owen, did you see what happened at the hairpin?
Well, I've just seen Jacko dive bomb everyone into the chicane and take off half his front wing. But no, I didn't really see it. It looked like one of the Haas had a very slow run through the hairpin, and it just backlogged, and everyone got stuck behind Michael Kenny, I think it was, and it all just chain reaction. Everyone's stuck, and no one can really do anything. As Jacko is, well, he's pretty much ruined his race with that dive bomb, to be honest. No front wing, and coming back into the pits. A disastrous Monaco weekend for him.
Yeah, very difficult to make moves on the circuit. You can see running on board with CJ, it's tight, it's twisty, and there's no room for error. There's barely any room for 2 cars to go side by side. So to get moves done here, I would really say it's got to be done in the pit lane or maybe just outside the tunnel.
Yeah.
Again, not the cleanest start though down into the hairpin. Dom Smith though has a big bit of damage to that Cyber front wing. I did see him collect someone at the hairpin. That's not going to help. You need downforce here. You need that mechanical grip. That front wing's not going to be giving him any. And he's 3.6 now behind Michael Kenny. This has not been the best race week there from Dom Smith. He's lifting off for the tunnel.
Closed up on the back of Chiapelli. Right, very all over the back of him now in the last sector. Maybe have a little look at Raskas. No, not quite, but he's just all over him like a rash.
Yeah, well, look at the moment, can't control the pace of this Grand Prix because he is the lead car. You can see he's a bit like a safety car. Sean won't be able to go quicker than him, especially at a circuit like this. He's got to stick to Luca's pace and maybe find a way past. He's having a look up the hill. Thinks better of it, and I think that's probably the right idea there from boss man Sean. Lucas hit the wall, and they're side by side. This is incredible racing. Almost putting each other in the wall again.
Has Sean lost a bit of his front wing there?
Yeah, he hit Raskas on lap 1.
No, it's all there actually. It's all there on my screen.
Oh, well, I seen a bit fall off the spectator. I think it was just a wee bit. Wasn't a big bit.
Yeah, weren't enough to make a big difference. He's still all over the back of Chiapelli. He's by far the quicker driver on the harder compound tyres as well. So maybe it's just
there you go. There's a front wing gone.
Yep, there's part of it gone now. Just as we were debating whether he actually lost a part of his front wing, he has lost a part of it, and he's now going to struggle for grip, especially on the harder tyres. He's
been struggling with that Toro Rosso under the brakes. Even in qualifying, he was locking up quite a lot. Locking up all the time, that's not going to do the tyres any good. Will he pit? No, he thinks better of it. CJ and Erlang are now on the back of this train. Yellow flag is out of Erlang round at Anthony Knowles, and Petrolhead's also out of the Grand Prix. Will we see a safety car?
No, but it's a very unfortunate place to have a spin there. And you know, it's such a pain in the arse to get the car back in the right direction.
He's now going
and he
the
has
right
now
way.
Finally done it and rejoins the race in P8, maybe P9, after Mr. John is finished with him.
Well then, so far clean for some drivers, not so clean for the other ones.
CJ has overtaken Bossman Sean as Bossman Sean is really struggling with that lack of grip at the front.
I think locking up isn't going to help. It's going to be heating those tyres. And one thing you don't want to do in this game is that's overheat the tyres. Yeah. Because you won't have any turning, and I think he's struggling with that now.
Yeah, he's really struggling with that now. Chris Johnson all over the back of him, possibly having a move into the chicane. What is he going to do? Is he going to send it round the outside? He is.
What a move. I think Bossman Sean might have let him through there. Bossman Sean moved a bit too close to the barrier. One thing to note though, Chris Johnson is pretty much running dry already. He's almost used up all of his reserves. He wants to he wants to get out the field. Maybe he knows he has the pace. He's won here in the past. Maybe he wants that record.
Yeah.
Don't jeopardise it though, because you've got a good amount of points in Bossman Sean's in. Interesting to see what tyre he goes for.
It's nice to see a clean turn 1 today, unlike yesterday's TGP1 race.
That was just messy. We'll just stay away from that.
Yeah, very messy.
Super's going on. That's what I thought. Front wing change as well. Look after this car now, Bossman Sean. Set some consistent pace, and you can jump a few of these guys who are still obviously yet to pit. But Bossman Sean, he would have been wanting to win this race, and I think that's now gone.
Yeah, use the power of the ladybird on your helmet, Sean, and you shall do alright this race, as some will say.
Erlang though, he's on a recovery drive as well. I think he just clipped the right rear on Anthony Knowles, and he just went for a spin. Currently 6/10 behind Michael Kenny. He's going to find it hard to get past that Haas. That Haas car's not going to make it easy. And guess what, Owen? Michael Kenny has front wing damage.
Oh, does he?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought he did.
That's 6 races now. 6 damage.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I pointed out on lap 1. He was the cause
of that chain
reaction.
Can he? Oh, he's cut the corner. He might have to give that back. That's naughty. Got the car.
Didn't see that.
Didn't slow it down in time.
Yeah.
Will he give it back?
I was too busy looking down the field at people who've stopped. So Red Bull Kim is the last of the cars that hasn't stopped yet, and he's got Bossman Sean, who's already made his stop all over the back of him. But has he just chipped another bit of his front wing off there, Sean? No, he hasn't.
No, I think he's still got that whole Toro Rosso front wing intact. Oh, he's going for them Raskas. Keep it clean, boys.
Dangerous move on Red Bull Kim.
Oh,
as Jacko's retired.
They're still going side by side. That's incredible. But now he is past Red Bull Kim. Erlang's actually into the pit lane, where he got damage earlier on in the lap CJ,
Yeah.
8 seconds behind Chiapelli. Chris Johnson all over
Oh,
the back of him now.
Yeah, well, it's a bit of a train behind CJ as we got. It's a bit of a train and a Renault sandwich for Chris Johnson.
Yeah, that's definitely not where you want to be, especially with their record in the past few races of crashing into each other and taking up bits of front wing. He won't feel safe in that Renault bubble at the moment. But I think Joe might be using him as a bit of a buffer to maybe follow him through on CJ.
Oh.
He's got front wing damage as well, I believe. A Raskas, I think now he has got front wing damage. He's just hit the back of CJ, who doesn't pit. And Chris Johnson's being held up here massively. You can see him riding on board with him.
Damage.
Yeah, he has. He's missing the right side of that end plate on lap 7 out of 20. DRS, though, here is pretty much pointless. Doesn't do anything because you're running such high downforce on the front and the rear. Up to Casino and Chris Johnson all over the back of CJ. I don't think Chris Johnson's going to be very happy about this. Joe Sayer, though, has just got to bide his time, and that Toro Rosso there on the Super Softs is the quickest car out on track at the moment.
Yep. As we see, very much a train as Mr. John is all over the back of Michael Kenny at the moment for P6. Yes, P6. Mr. John had a little sniff going into that corner, didn't quite make the move done, and he's not going to be close enough to pull anything off down the hairpin.
There goes Joe Sayer then on the back of the McLaren. Again, close enough, but not close enough. Not close enough to make the move on the McLaren. Currently sitting 5 tenths now behind that
Mr. Kenny,
McLaren.
Sorry, Michael Kenny's chopped off another bit of his front wing, and that gives Mr. John the opportunity to take the move up into P6, and that's how you do it.
Bossman Sean all over the back of him now on fresh supers. Ah, what a move. What a move there. And he's got front wing damage, says Bossman Sean.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, has he now?
Even more.
Yeah. Well, Michael Kenny basically has got no front wing now with the lack of downforce on his front end. Is he going to peel into the pits? Yes, he is.
Oh, almost hit the wall on the pit lane there.
That's how Mr. John got past, and that made it easier for Sean to get past as well.
We've got so Bossman Sean is the highest of the stoppages so far. Currently sitting P7.5 a second by Mr. John. Definitely got the pace at the moment, and I don't think we'll want to waste much time behind him, so we could see a move either on this lap or the next.
Yeah. Meanwhile, who's going to pit first out of this trio that's battling for second place? Someone is going to probably try and jump and get the undercut at some point.
I think Chris has to do it. I think the main thing is Chris here.
Yeah, Chris trying to pull the pin. They're 17.5 seconds behind Chiapelli now.
I think Joe should do the opposite.
Yeah, Chiapelli walking away with this race at the front.
Yeah, he's in control of it at the moment. Will any of them box at the moment though? CJ round the corner, Chris Johnson, no. Joe, no. All three stay out.
That's an interesting tactic. I would maybe pitted as one of them, even if it's like doesn't really favour your strategy, because Monaco's so hard to overtake. As Joe's going to have a look up the inside, it's going to be the outside of Casino, and Chris Johnson's lost more of his front wing as they make wheel-to-wheel contact heading up the hill.
Just caught the end of that where McLaren was in the wall, and maybe he should have pitted. He would have kept a front wing, well, most of his front wing if he had pitted. But look at now, 18 to 21 in a lap. That is incredible. He's absolutely flying at the moment. Will he let though Joe Sayer through? Because this is second and third for Renault. They could take this home.
Yeah, maybe he's trying to push up enough of a gap so he can make his stop and come out still in the lead at the moment. What's he going to do? Is he going to peel in this time round? No, he isn't. So yeah, that might be his tactic. Just keep pounding round, get enough of a gap so he comes in and comes out in the lead still.
Does Joe though? We've seen it last year at some races, not all races, where he played a bit of a rear gunner role to Jack Pearson. Can he do that now for CJ? Not as CJ is the quicker driver, but as in CJ is struggling for pace. Renault could get very good points here if Joe maybe just parks that bus, doesn't battle with his teammate. And I think Joe has, has chipped off the front left end plate.
Well, it's not, it's a little bit, but it's not going to affect him hugely. It's still, you need all the downforce you can get on Monaco, but it's not a severe punishment for that little scrape on the wall.
Johnson's in.
Yeah.
I've got him going down the
No,
pit lane
he's
on the
disconnected.
circuit.
He's disconnected.
Oh,
on
right,
my
okay.
He's disconnected.
Yep,
That is
he has
what
for me
happened to
too.
Chris Johnson. So,
Mr. John, though,
disastrous run
defending
for
off
Chris
Baza.
Johnson.
Bossman Sean's in again.
Yeah. Is he?
Yes,
he
he
must
is.
have lost some more of his front wing then.
What tires is he
Yeah,
going
he's
for?
gone on to the Hypersofts.
Yeah, they're not. They might actually make 10 laps. I'm not quite sure. He's come out behind Michael Kenny.
I think the most you can get is 8 laps as he gets 3-second time penalty for corner cutting when he was coming out the pit lane.
I think he's crossed the pit lane line and then continued the pit lane exit. So obviously the game's then registered he's left the pit lane. So definitely not the best way there.
Maybe.
Neil flag in sector 3. Will we see a safety car at this race? Not often you see that. Michael Kenny round the outside of Bossman Sean and up the inside at the hairpin. Michael Kenny, take a bow, sunshine. That is an incredible move. With damage, Michael Kenny to have enough downforce, confidence, grip through there is incredible. Now Bossman Sean coming back at him, he's all over him. Down the inside goes Bossman Sean, thinks better of it. Michael Kenny cut the corner, but I am impressed, Michael Kenny. Joe Sayers in.
Yeah, Joe Sayers been in. Mr. Chiapelli has been in and come back out in the lead, so that proved my theory of what he was trying to do. He's planning just to stay out pound round, build himself enough of a gap to come out back in the lead. So unless there's a safety car, he's probably going to win this race.
The Hypers have gone on to that Renault for Joe Sayer, but I'm still amazed by that move by Michael Kenny. That was incredible. Chris Johnson's back in the session.
I didn't catch a glimpse of that at all. I was too busy watching what was happening further up the field. But yeah, didn't see that. Sounds like a great move.
Honestly, fantastic. Erlang now on the back of Russ, all over the back of that Ferrari driver. Russ going very slowly indeed. Will Erlang make the move? Bossman Sean's out. Not quite sure what's happened to him.
Started on second place and it's just all gone disastrously for him. Chris Johnson has now officially made his pit stop as CJ is in. So where is he going to come out in comparison to his teammate?
This is going to be quite sensational if he can stay out ahead. He doesn't seem to have the pace at the moment to CJ. Ultra's off. Hyper's on. Leaving the pit lane now. Where's Joe? Joe's got a lot of traffic.
He's coming around Larascas and he's stuck in traffic, yeah.
CJ's left the pit lane now.
So he's lost out big time there, Joe, being stuck in that traffic.
This could be massive now. Into Andrino's Erlang tries to go around the outside, but Russ shutting that door. Quite naughtily there. I think Erlang was a bit too far alongside for him to maybe do that. But Russ shutting the door. And we're still waiting then for 3 drivers to stop in this race. Mr. John, Russ and Red Bull Kim currently running in a solid 7th place at the moment, but obviously still yet to box.
Is Joe going to have a sniff down the inside? No, he's not quite.
All over the back of that Force India now on those Hypersofts.
Yeah, very much the grippiest tyre you can have around Monaco. Meanwhile, Erland is on the hardest compounded tyre around Monaco. So,
I wouldn't just say Monaco, just the grippiest tyre you can have in Formula 1. Hypersofts.
Yeah.
Oh, Erlang's in the wall.
Monaco's Erland in the wall and chipped the bottom of his front wing, goes past, and now he's the main gunner onto the back of Ross.
This is looking very tasty for Renault at the moment. If Erlang's already pitted and has damage and is behind Jose, we're still waiting for Mr. John and Russ to box. That's going to leave them 2nd and 3rd. That's exactly what they needed after China, after Spain. To take home a 2-3 at Monaco would be incredible for the team. It's Mr. John in the pit lane.
Yeah, meanwhile that yellow flag in Sector 2 was Elite Shot doing something at the chicane, but he's rejoined the circuit again.
So he's probably outbraked himself or maybe clipped the wall to spin that car around. But Joe Sayer now, over the back of Russ. Not quite sure why he's defending. They're in different races. Joe's going to be getting quite annoyed, but he's got a lot of VRS. Must be saving a lot in that battle. Still yellow flag in Sector 2. Joe thinking about it. Thinks better off it though. But Russ still defending down into the hairpin. What can Joe Sayer do now? Round the hairpin he go very slow, about 20 miles an hour. Especially if you take the wrong line in there, you can chip off the front wing. There is CJ.
Oh,
CJ stopped.
Yeah. CJ is.
He's moving again.
He's got going again. But don't know what's happened there. Maybe controller disconnection or something like that.
Maybe he should have gone round his AI.
Oh, wow. That was very clumsy from the pair of them. Ross and Joe Sayer. Joe was up the inside. basically passed. Russ tried to turn in on him, didn't quite make it, and then just pushed him in the wall.
That is another great example. It's going well for Renault, and it's starting to fade away from them again. Front wing damage, which is massive. You can see it hasn't got anything on that left side, and CJ just coming to a random halt. It's just not. Renault are quick. You could say they're a bit like Haas this year, showing the pace but just can't put the results together, and it's disappointing because there is potential in that team.
Yeah. I want to give a special shout out to Red Bull Kim. He hasn't stopped yet, but he's currently running P5. So he's putting on a stellar show in Kevin Magnussen's car.
And if there's a safety car now, it would be incredible. I don't think there will be, though.
No. I will say, out of this battle for second between Joe, Erland and CJ, the only one who's got all of his front wing is CJ.
But that Renault seems to be faulty. Doesn't seem to be picking 100% power down when he's asking it. Joe Sayer, 44 seconds behind Luca. That's incredible.
Yeah.
That is
Luca
massive.
so
Mr. John's
far
past
the
Dom
lead.
in the tunnel.
Well, this is what happened with my race that I won in season 18.
Oh, he just passed
I
her
was
line.
just so far out in the front, and I pitted with 2 laps to go for the softest tyre to just try and get fastest lap. So I wonder if we'll see Chiapelli try and do the same thing. But unless something mad happens, he's won this race.
Both Renaults now back to second and third. I think they're quite lucky to have both cars there. CJ though has all his front wing. Will Joe let him by?
That is a serious question to consider. Red Bull Kim still hasn't stopped yet. He's got Mr. John who has stopped all over the back of him. Every person who finishes the race is guaranteed points. I will say that. There's 11 runners still.
Unless you're disqualified. Just to point that out.
Yeah, that's true.
But Red Bull Kim though being absolutely hounded at the moment by Mr. John. He's going so slow there. I think the tyres must be
Speaking
fading.
of not going slowly though, Chiapelli sets a 1 minute 13.6, new fastest lap of the race. He should be cruising. He's so far out in the lead, 46 seconds clear of the rest of the field, but he's still pushing for fastest laps after fastest laps.
Absolutely incredible. And I'm surprised Mr. John hasn't got past Red Bull Kim at the moment. The two Renaults though, I want to see what's going to happen here. One has a front wing, one doesn't. Well, half a front wing. Will Joe allow CJ through on the start-finish straight? You can see there the damage to that Renault there on Joe Sayer. CJ seems to be the quicker driver at the moment. He's not going to let him by. No, he's not. Red Bull Kim finally calls it a day on those ultras and peels into the pit lane.
Yeah. So, yeah, pulls it a day. See where he rejoins this race, but he's going to be on for a strong finish for himself in this race in the Monaco Grand Prix.
Baza and Michael Anthony knows. Is that Luca at the back of them?
That is Luca lapping him.
Now this is where I like the blue flag, but also where I don't like the blue flag. Because these guys are racing, and I've just had to stop their race. Like right now, it's a battle for 7th, Michael and Baza. These two are racing hard for championship points. They are on the race, but now they have to let Luca through because he's on the lead lap, and that has just ruined the battle. Or maybe, yeah, there we go. Now Michael's lost the place because he's had to let a driver through. I do not like the blue flag at all, unless I'm the leader. Then I want them to get out of the way. But from a spectator point of view, it's not good at all.
Yeah, well, Mr. Michael just jumped miles out the way, while Basil just found he didn't really have to jump that far out the way. He could have either waited a bit, just gave him a little gap, and then parked it on the apex at the hairpin. That would probably been the best situation there. Chiapelli is so far out in the lead, it wouldn't matter if he lost a couple of seconds here or there.
Where is Dom Smith? Dom Smith is at Raskas. Luca is coming up to Raskas. How's he going to lap his teammate? Is that going to be a thing?
It's a good shout, you know.
Luca has
Dom
been
Smith
in control of this Grand Prix.
and Mr. Chiapelli's round Anthony Nogues.
This is absolutely incredible. Joe Sayer then still denying to let CJ through. The gap to 4th though is 3.5. You need to keep an eye on that with 2 laps remaining. But Joe not making this easy at all for his teammate.
No, definitely not. CJ got the better conditioned car. to battle against, but because it's Monaco, there's nowhere really to overtake. So he's struggling massively just to find even a sniff of an opportunity to get
Taking a
past.
drink there. Russ is going straight on at Casino and taking off the front wing. That's going to promote Red Bull Kim surely to 9th. If Russ...
meanwhile, CJ has been let go by his teammate Joe.
We would well, I was expecting that to happen because CJ has been the quicker driver and has a fully intact car compared to Joe, who doesn't. And Erlang was catching. It's now down to 2.6. So that is a good call there from the Renault boys to protect the second and third. And Russ is out. So Red Bull Kim's 9th. Nice one, Kim.
Yeah, Red Bull Kim having a very solid day for himself.
Taking him a lot of points at the start of this season, Red Bull Kim. Very good.
Yeah, he's having a very solid day. Ross is gone, so we're down to 10 cars still running in this race. And Chiapelli starts his penultimate lap, 55 seconds clear of the rest of the field.
Going up to Casino. Dom's at Casino.
He has put on a class performance today, Mr. Chiapelli. What a performance. And I can just see on the camera shot for Chiapelli that Dom Smith isn't too far up the road.
You got the two Haas, battle for 9th and 8th. Red Bull Kim and Michael Kenny battling over 8th and 9th. Can Red Bull Kim then, in Kevin Magnussen's car, get past his teammate?
Chiapelli is catching his teammate at a rate of knots. He's honestly, he's about to lap his teammate, who's also a title contender.
Well, it's been an absolutely fantastic day for Luca. He's been in control of this Grand Prix from a light side, but Red Bull Kim's showing great pace at the moment. I think this is the quickest I've ever seen Red Bull Kim. He's absolutely flying. Michael Kenny's taking off the full front wing.
So Red Bull Kim's got to be careful now.
Will he now let his teammate go? We've seen a lot of teams just letting each other go because the front wing isn't intact. I don't think Red Bull Kim will be too happy if he isn't let by. All over the back of Michael Kenny, and he's still refusing to let Red Bull Kim by. Obviously, he doesn't have to, but I think it'd be better for the team.
Yeah, it's a battle of the walking wounded for third place now as Erlang's closed back in on Joe Sayer, but both of them have got basically half a front wing.
Yeah, both of them turning the steering wheel, and the car's doing nothing. It's not doing what it's told.
Yeah.
CJ though, a minute behind, and he's P2. Yeah.
Chiapelli's just broken the minute mark on the final lap of the race. So let's just watch this masterful driving from Chiapelli. Yeah. He's put in one hell of a performance, and surely this is a champion sort of drive. Controlling it from the front, putting out a massive margin, keeping it tidy, keeping it off the barriers, not putting a foot wrong all race as he heads through the swimming pool for the final time.
Been a fantastic drive then by Luca. 1.01, sorry. Ahead of CJ in second.
1 minute 2 ahead.
Yeah, that's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Luca, though, comes across the line to win in Monaco and take his second win of the night. It's 2-2 for Luca Chiapelli. Fantastic. It's going to be a bit of a wait, though, for second place. It's only coming up to the hairpin. Fantastic drive, Owen. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, one of the most dominant performances I've ever seen in TGP2. Even more dominant than the season I won here. I thought I had a dominant race that season, lapping a fair few cars, but he's lapped everyone he's the only cars that are still on the lead lap of the top 5.
Key thing to note, actually, Red Bull Kim's now finished the race because he was lapped. He got ahead of Michael Kenny, so that's 8th place for Red Bull Kim. That's a whopping 5 points for the Dane. He's going to be chuffed with that.
Yeah. Meanwhile, there is a battle for third place, third, fourth, and fifth towards the end of this race. Erland is all over the back of Joe Sayer. CJ looks like he's going to come home in second. But what's going to happen with this battle for third? Who's going to take this final podium spot? They've just got Larascas and Anthony Nogues left in this race.
Keep it clean, boys. You're at the end of the race. Don't risk it. Round Anthony Knowles. Very clean note between those three, and we're waiting now. These will be the final 3 drivers to come across the line to finish the Monaco Grand Prix. It's been a dominant drive by Luca, and yet again there's a Sauber on the top step and a Sauber wishing for more. Dom Smith disappointed again in the second race of the night. Absolutely fantastic stuff then. Luca Chiapelli takes his second win of the night. Renault on the podium. NP2 and Erlang. Oh, sorry, both Renaults on the podium of CJ second and Joe third. My mind went a bit blank there, but fantastic for Cyber, and again, fantastic for Renault. This is what they needed, and they've done it at Monaco of all places. Now can they take that momentum forward? This then is your rundown of the Monaco Grand Prix. It's night time apparently.
No, there we go. It's all gone a bit
There we
mad.
go. Rewards. I don't know how I can get rewards for spectating. But anyway, look at Chiapelli then. Dominant. Lights out to checkered flag. Takes home first place. CJ for Renault is second. Joser, also for Renault, a double Renault podium, is third. Erlang fourth. Mr. John from 10th to 5th finishes P5. Dom Smith managed to get 6th from P11, but will be wanting to finish higher and closer to his teammate Baza 7th. Red Bull Kim an impressive 8th. Michael Kenny 9th. Chris Johnson 10th. Russ 11th. Elite Shots 12th. Bossman Sean 13th. Jacko 14th. Petrolhead in 15th. So very good race there, Owen.
Yeah, well, a very dominant race from Chiapelli. Controlled it from the front. Did what he had to do. He didn't put a foot wrong. He's the only driver really all day not to put a foot wrong or have some kind of issue in that race. And it's just proved by the dominant victory he had over a minute in Monaco. Only the top 5 on the lead lap.
Yeah, that's absolutely incredible. But that has been Spain and Monaco. Join us next week at Wednesday, same time, for round 7 and 8, October 24th for Canada and Paul Ricard. I've been Aidan Griffins, and I've been joined by Owen Quimby. Thank you.